Hey, what up, guys? So I had a little bit more time today. I'm going to hit you with some more mid-year top 10s. Right now, I'm going to talk about the 130-pound super featherweight division, which is still very good. Got a lot of pretty solid, good fighters, young fighters on the rise, young champions on the rise. So a lot of things happening in this division. It's really a division on the rise. So let's start with the guys that are out of the top 10 right now. First of those is former WBA champion Alberto Machado. Machado got dominated and knocked out in 4 rounds against unknown Andrew Cancio back in February, and then in June he returned in a mandatory rematch against Cancio, and pretty much same result, just one round quicker. This time he got knocked out in only 3 rounds. I think the weight, definitely him cutting down to 130 is a big deal for him. It's really hurting him. But, Cancio's just a bulldog, and he needs his respect as well. But Machado dropping out because I looked at his resume and what he's done, and it hasn't been a whole lot outside of that one-punch upset knockout victory over Jezreel Corrales when he captured the vacant title. He was getting beat pretty much that entire fight. He looked like he was on the verge of, getting knocked out, and he caught Corrales with just a picture-perfect left. That's really the only legitimate fighter he's beaten. So now back-to-back early knockout losses to a guy who really, nobody even had in their top 15, top 20 coming into the year. Yeah, I think, he's dropping out for me. So we'll see if he comes back at lightweight and what he does with that. Also dropping out is Masayuki Ito, the former WBO champion. He previously was number 9. He lost the title to Jamal Herring in pretty convincing fashion. He came in a sizable favorite in that fight, and Herring just completely outboxed him, outworked him, and took the title. 2 judges gave him 10 rounds. The other judge had it 8 rounds for Herring. So Ito got soundly defeated. His only credible win is against Christopher Diaz last year, who doesn't really seem to be a top-end fighter. So Ito drops out because there's more deserving guys in. And that's pretty much it for the guys that have dropped out of things. The guys that have dropped out. Let's look at the guys that are now in the top 10. Coming in number 10 and still in that position is undefeated Russian contender Shavkat Rakhimov. This guy is pretty much the boogeyman at 130 right now. He's highly rated. He's the WBC's number 5 contender, but he's that guy that's high risk, low reward right now because he doesn't have a big name. He's going to get avoided by the big names until he mandates a title shot against somebody because he's undefeated and he's scary. He's a good fighter. He's fought 1 time this year, got a knockout win in March, and I'm hoping he gets into some kind of a title eliminator heading into this part of the year because that's really the only way he's going to get anything legit on his resume. Next at number 9 and newly into the top 10 now is Jamal Herring. He wasn't ranked before. He's the newly crowned WBO champion. In May, he took on Masayuki Ito and dominated him over 12 rounds. Convincing 12-round decision win. There was talks about a possible unification bout with Miguel Berchelt. Berchelt doesn't seem 100% interested, but so until they get him interested or something else happens, he's going to be making a mandatory against Lamont Roach Jr. next. They're still discussing the fight. We don't know exactly when. I would expect probably September or October when that fight takes place. Next at number 8, still number 8, is the IBF champion Tevin Farmer. Well, Farmer, he signed on to face another unknown fighter. This guy is at least as mandatory in the IBF. His name is, let me see here, Guillaume Frenois. I think he's from France. So that fight's taking place Saturday, July 27th on DAZN as part of a triple header. Tevin Farmer should dominate the action in this one with ease and score a lopsided decision, maybe a stoppage in the late rounds. So we'll see. It's he's just staying busy getting a mandatory out of the way for hopefully a bigger fight later in the year. Next at number 7, he previously was not ranked, is Scott Quigg. He's a former super bantamweight champion at 122. He officially is in the 130-pound weight class now, and he was supposed to fight at the end of April, but he got hurt before in training. So right now he's kind of taking some time to recover. No stranger to taking time off in between fights. I really think he's an option for Joseph Diaz or possibly Tevin Farmer for the IBF title later in the year. I think he's going to get somebody decent before the end of the year is up. So we're just waiting around to see who. Next at number 6, dropping 3 spots from number 3, is former WBC champion Francisco Vargas. He returned on May 11th in the main event of a ESPN card and challenged Miguel Berchelt for the WBC title in a rematch from their 2017 bout, where Berchelt completely dominated Vargas and took the title from him. That was Vargas's only loss coming in. It was same story though on this night and just a quicker result. Berchelt absolutely dominated him again. Vargas fought hard, was landing his shots as he was the first time, but he just was getting outworked by a younger fighter. I mean, for every shot that he landed, Berchelt was landing 3, sometimes 4 shots with his combinations, and he was beating up Vargas. And Vargas's trainer, Joel Diaz, thank God for that guy. He stopped the fight earlier instead of waiting till late, because he realized his man was getting hit with some hard shots and wasn't going to overcome that. So 6th round TKO loss. He's 34 now, not sure if he's going to retire or what he's going to do. Possibly he moves up to lightweight to try to make a name for himself. We'll see what happens, but a tough loss for the veteran, former world champ. Next at number 5, moving up 1 spot from number 6, is former world title challenger Mickey Roman. No news on when he's returning. He last fought in March, got a knockout win, bouncing back from that loss to Berchelt last year. So hopefully we see him come back soon and work his way up. Roman's one of those guys that I think Jamal Herring could fight if Miguel Berchelt said he doesn't want to fight him. Or any one of these guys just to stay busy. Roman's one of those kind of journeyman type guys. That's what he was before he got hot the last couple years in the division, and that's what I think he's still going to be as his career goes forward. So he'll probably get opportunities, and I hope he gets one before the end of the year. Next at number 4 is WBA regular champion Andrew Cancio. Well, he did it again. He defied the odds. He took on Alberto Machado on June 21st in a rematch from their fight back in February, and he absolutely kicked the shit out of Machado quicker this time. This time he stopped him in only 3 rounds and left no doubt he was the better man. Again, they could say all they want about weight issues, and I know Machado, it's tough. It's been tough for him the last year and a half or so to make the 130-pound weight class, but you got to hand it to Cancio for just walking through a longer, taller guy with power. I mean, and shaking off his punches. I mean, he just walked right through him in this fight. Dominating victory, held on to his title. He's got a mandatory due in Rene Alvarado. If for some reason that fight does not happen, he's going to fight Jojo Diaz and try to redeem himself, because he lost to Joseph Diaz a few years ago. So, we'll see what happens. I like Cancio, though. He's that Rocky story, and I like that he's just a grinder and wants to keep banging and wants to fight the best. So congrats to him. A big-time win for him in June. Next, and still number 3, is Joseph Diaz Jr., former world title challenger. Diaz fought on May 4th on the Canelo undercard. He took on a little-known veteran named Freddie Fonseca, dominated him, 7th round TKO. He looked really good in that fight. Diaz wants a big fight next. There's been a lot of shit getting talked between him, Gervonta Davis, and Tevin Farmer. He has a win over Andrew Cancio, as I just said a couple minutes ago. Cancio would like to redeem that, but I think Cancio has a mandatory due. I would love to see him fight Scott Quigg. I'd love to see him fight Tevin Farmer before the end of the year, because they're top 10 guys, and Diaz needs that big-time win. So I hope he gets it. He's been looking really good, and he looks good at 130. He really looks strong and determined at 130, and we'll see how it goes. Next and still number 2 is the undefeated WBA super champion Gervonta Davis. Davis has signed for his next fight, July 27th, in the main event of a Showtime card. He's going to return and take on, Jesus, I'm drawing a blank, Ricardo Nunez. That's his mandatory right now. I think Davis is going to destroy this Nunez ahead of what hopefully is a big fight later in the year. Couldn't tell you what that's going to be. I know Abner Modis is down to still move up. I know there's been talks of Leo Santa Cruz possibly moving up and facing him. I really hope he goes after one of the guys at 130 though, but any one of those fights would be big. But I really want him to take on somebody who is riding high right now later on in the year. But he's got to get through Nunez first. Again, that's on Saturday, July 27th on Showtime, and I think he's going to get a win there. Knockout. Hopefully it's an impressive one. And then finally, still number one is the reigning WBC champion, Miguel Berchelt. Berchelt took on Francisco Vargas, dominated him in their rematch, as we talked about. Really left no doubt who the better man was. He has looked so good since winning his title back in January 2017. He's not taking his foot off the gas pedal. I think he's going to keep rolling. He wants a big fight for the end of the year. I know him and Gervonta Davis are calling each other out, but can they make the fight happen is the big question. If not, I think a unification bout with Jamal Herring makes a lot of sense for him. So we'll see what he decides to do. He didn't really work too hard against Vargas. I mean, Vargas fought hard, but he dominated the fight. So I'm hoping we see him face somebody legit next if he doesn't sign on for a unification against Jamal Herring. So that's it, guys, for 130. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with another one. True Boxing. Been hit with the truth.